Welcome to the Daily Dharma, a gentle podcast where we read a philosophical story every week and reflect on how it relates to everyday life. Our focus is to use Buddhist philosophy to understand the complexity of modern life and find achievable and accessible pathways to peace and happiness. Hi everyone, welcome to the Daily Dharma. In this episode, we'll be talking about how we can keep hope alive even when things feel dire. The story that we'll be reflecting on this theme is called A Step Towards Healing, and it comes from the book Zen Stories with Master Seiji by Daiki Shimada. Here is how the story goes. Master Seiji was tending to his garden early in the morning, filling feeders with seeds and nuts for the day's flurry of birds and squirrels. However, his quiet routine was gently interrupted by a woman, her steps hesitant but purposeful. She had heard of Seiji's wisdom and his open heart towards those in need. Master Seiji, she started, her voice deeply anxious. I've been struggling with severe depression, and I've heard that you help people, and I don't know where else to turn. Seiji invited her to join him on a nearby bench, offering her a moment to collect her thoughts. And as she spoke, it became evident that her condition was profound, casting a shadow over her daily life, inhibiting her ability to find joy in anything. I understand that you're in pain, Seiji responded, and I'm happy to offer guidance and sometimes just a listening ear. But it's really important to know when a problem is beyond my aid. Just as you wouldn't expect me to mend a broken foot, severe mental health issues, like depression, require the right professional support. The woman looked down, her struggle with the idea of seeking professional help clear in her hesitation. Well, I've thought about it, she admitted, but taking that first step, it's so overwhelming. Seiji nodded, recognizing her courage. So, here's a little suggestion. Why don't we take that first step together, he said. Seeking help for yourself is a brave act, one I can support you in, even if it's just by being by your side as you make the call. Together, they searched for a professional who specialized in treating severe depression. So they found someone, and as she made the call, Seiji was there, listening, supporting, making sure that she knew that she wasn't alone in any of this. After the call, the woman seemed to carry a lighter burden. Thank you, Master Seiji, she said, a hint of hope in her voice. I was so afraid to take this step on my own. Seiji offered a thoughtful nod as they concluded the call. If you'd like, I could accompany you to your appointment. I'll even wait for you until it's finished. The woman was so moved by the offer and accepted with a grateful smile. It was a small gesture, but for her, it felt like a lifeline. When the day of the appointment arrived, Seiji met her outside the therapist's office. His presence provided a comforting sense of stability and reassurance. After the session, she emerged looking visibly relieved, a new spark of hope in her eyes. Together, they walked to Seiji's home, where he brewed a pot of tea. They talked not about her session, but instead about his garden teeming with plenty of birds and squirrels. This story is so straightforward, but it offers wisdom in ways that can often be very overlooked. The thing is that when I look at the news of what's happening in the world, which is very hard to see, there's so much pain in our hearts, so much anger at the struggle, at the innocence being lost. But then we have to remember that just like Master Seiji, there are so many people who are struggling around us too. And if we can't save everyone, we might as well focus on helping those that are around us, such as our own family, our neighbors, the people in our community. This is where you can channel your energy. This is where you can keep hope alive for yourself by helping to keep it alive for others. Even though Master Seiji could not solve this woman's depression, he admitted that he doesn't know how to help her and he isn't the right person to help her. He still found a way to support her. And to many, walking to someone's appointment, or even just being there next to them as they make the call, doesn't really cost very much. But to the person who may have been ruminating and struggling with indecision for years, the person sitting next to them is absolutely a necessary and deeply needed lifeline. And so, for the people there in your life, I wonder how many times you can also be a lifeline. And in simply offering support, no matter how small, we can really keep people hopeful, looking forward to tomorrow, thinking that change is possible, because that can't happen without hope. Even within my own life, yesterday I had a very busy day planned, some volunteer training, but sometimes as it happens, I get some physical pain during outings, and I was in a lot of pain, and I honestly thought no one would come looking for me, and why would they? Because I left in the middle of the session and I told everyone I was fine. But then one of the volunteer coordinators came looking for me, and she spoke to me and we had a wonderful conversation. And in hindsight, it almost even brings tears to my eyes that someone came looking for me, even though I didn't ask for it. And they were kind enough to help me just get through this moment, because even when you're in pain or dealing with a health complication, having someone just to hold your hand and talk through it means everything to that person. So I feel so grateful for that person coming to see me and helping me, and she really did make me feel better. And because I've experienced so many moments like that in my life where even the smallest of gestures from people just make me feel hopeful for others, for myself, for the world. I know that we all have that capacity to give that hope and to be that hope. And sometimes you don't really feel that hopeful for yourself. But when you realize your own capacity for doing good in the world, that is what keeps the hope alive for not just others, but yourself. And also, something that I notice is that even in the wake of tragedies, of people dying and things happening that are really dark, there are always people that are fighting for the right things. There are people who show up and they don't give up. And because I see so many people like that, I know that I too am not going to give up. And neither should you. I think it's especially in times that are dark that we can really see the people that are putting in the effort, that are hopeful for humanity. And there is no better time than when things are really bad to join that bandwagon and to be hopeful, even in the smallest ways. And that could be as gentle but as powerful as simply waking up in the morning and watering your plants and practicing loving kindness meditation towards yourself and others. Even being able to function and nurture the plants, the animals, the people around you at this time is truly a gift. So, just as Master Seiji did, when hope feels like it's so far away, always remember that you are a great source of hope for others and that you can keep the hope alive and always see examples of hope if you are open to it in the world around you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you have any thoughts or questions, please email me at dailydharmapodcast@gmail.com. May you have a safe, joyful, and happy week ahead of you. Until next week.